Wake up, MF, my friends. Welcome to the Wake Up podcast. I'm your host, Frederick Intiman, but you can call me Freddy Luv. And this episode is brought to you by Therasage. Therasage is the most advanced portable infrared sauna on the market today. It incorporates the latest technologies, including advanced earthing technology, AET. It balances the delicate electrical charge of the body to harmonize with the earth and improve cellular function. And I have to say, I love my portable sauna. It promotes detoxification from environmental pollutants in your water and so forth, and better sleep. And I'm on day 3 already, and I'm sleeping like a baby. But today, I'd like to introduce Keri Dennis-Fulmore, a contributing author in the new Wake Up anthology titled A Women's Guide to Transformation, Prosperity, and Health. And Keri, you have to be thrilled to be amongst such an empowered group of women across the world.
It's amazing to be a part of this movement, and the women that are in this book are incredible women, and I'm so honored to be alongside them in the book.
Now, did you ever imagine in your life you'd be an author?
No, not at all. It's not something that I even thought that I would do. And it just kept calling to me. And when I saw the Wake Up World movement in books, I knew that I had to contribute as part of my calling.
What is your calling? What's your story?
So my calling came to me, actually. I spent 6 years in body-wide chronic pain from head to toe. And doctors told me that there was nothing wrong with me, and naturopaths couldn't figure it out. Healers, psychics, nobody could help me. And in my healing, I actually ended up having to tune into my own intuition to figure out the answers for why it is that I was in so much pain. And through that, I knew for certain that my mission on this earth was to bring hope and healing to people at the 4 corners of the earth. So that's why I wrote in the upcoming Wake Up book.
Well, there's certainly a need for that. People seem to, as I look at it this way, with 15 years of health and wellness consulting under my belt, and being a professional athlete, so physical, I kind of look at it this way. As we are supposed to be progressing in the 21st century, it's like health and wellness is regressing. And people are living in such chronic pain and discomfort and psychological disharmony. There's such a need for someone like you. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I actually, I owe all of my healing to connecting to that inner wisdom or that intuition. And so if I can help somebody to connect to their own intuition and figure out what their body's trying to tell them and get them to a place of balance, then, I'm the happiest person in the world.
That's well put, because you just described you feel at your best, because you just described your purpose, and it's very clear what that purpose is to you. Have you noticed, as much as I have as well, there's too many people, I say this without judgment because I am Freddy Luv. I come from a place of love. They're just simply, I feel too many people tolerating an out of alignment life, if you want to call it lifestyle. But they're not happy with their job, and that causes probably more disease and distress within themselves than they realize.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll speak for myself when I say that I was a little bit of a health nut. I ate all organic food, exercised 5 days a week, did everything that I thought was healthy for the body, meditation. I'd even do like juice fasting or just cleansing, whatever I could do, all because I was, healthy and wanted to take care of my body and prevent things. And when this came out of nowhere, it actually was that I didn't love myself. And
Oh,
so my
wow.
body was expressing the pain that I had. So even though I was doing all these things to be healthy, I was doing them for the wrong reasons. I was doing them so that I could feel better about myself. But when in reality, I needed to feel better before I could even be 100% healthy. So it's amazing what with the mind and the body and the connection is there.
How fortunate you're able to see the light, so to speak, and um, learn on your own. Just even after 6 years, I mean, I know of people within my very own family that um, have unfortunately passed, but never really learned their lesson. You know what I mean? So, where do you think that innate wisdom came from? How do you? It was kind of your awakening, right?
Well, the irony is that I had been doing medical intuitive readings for other people for so long, and I always had a hard time connecting to myself because my ego would get in the way, or
Ah,
I'm just way too emotionally attached to the results. So I had to learn to put that aside and really get clear with myself. So, um, but I will say, even though I'd been doing medical intuitive readings and intuition for a long time, everybody's intuitive, and there isn't one person on this planet that can't connect to their intuition.
do you have? I can generally speak for most people. If they were to read that or hear that, maybe they don't quite understand even what that is. I don't know
Mhm.
if you get that often, but maybe you can clarify
Yeah.
exactly what that is.
Yeah. So normally people will have a question to something. Maybe it's to do with your health. And when you ask a question, it's always that very first response that you get. And sometimes you make it more complicated and you start to overthink it, or you don't pay attention to it, or you don't quite understand it and you don't ask deeper questions. But I've always found that your intuition is that really quick, swift voice that comes in quite softly, and you don't really have an attachment to it, even if you don't like the answer. The ego, on the other hand, will question everything. It wants to keep you in safe. It wants to keep you in the life that you've already known. It doesn't want to get uncomfortable and create change. So the ego is very like when you get an ego answer, you kind of, your body contracts, you can feel it, like you start ruminating in your thoughts. Whereas I feel like the intuition is more of a heart centered response, where you feel expansive and light and there's not really a questioning of it. um, I've taught hundreds of people all over the world how to connect to their intuition, and it is one of the things that I love to do. But the biggest thing you can do is really just get quiet with yourself and start to ask those questions.
What do you recommend for people who claim to live in their head?
Oh, okay. So often I will get, I've had lawyers who are very, very in their head connect to their
Yeah.
intuition. So if they can do it, anybody can do it. But I would usually have the person ask questions in a different way. So there's automatic writing, where you just pose a question and you just start writing, and that's often really good for people who are in their head, because they can connect the words to the paper. There's also, I would have people to, rather than, so I'll take people through a meditation is what I'll do. So in that meditation, we're breathing, we're letting go of all the stresses, and then we're going to our heart center and we're connecting with unconditional love and joy. So I always have people think of a memory that brings them the most unconditional love and joy. So
Oh, nice.
maybe that's the moment that your child was born, or sitting beside a waterfall, whatever it is, even if it's made up. The reason I get people to do that is because it's in that energy of love and joy that we no longer are in our head. So we'll bring that memory or that energy into our heart, just really feeling it expand throughout the whole body. And it's in that moment that you can ask a question and the answer comes because you've gotten out of your head and into your heart.
That is, I started this practice as well about 6 years ago now, and it does take some practice, like anything, but when that kind of switch over happens, it's just such a relieving um, situation to get out of your head. Because I used to, I still read a lot, but and then writing on top of that, because I was a literature on track to be a literature professor. So I guess I was basically with research and the documentation and all that, pretty similar to a lawyer. And so if you're in a thinking profession, yeah, your brain's just going to run and run and run. So what a useful skill, and it is a skill to
Well,
to learn.
I'll always say to people that your intuition's like a muscle. It's just like going to the gym. The more you use it, the more it grows. So if you just expect to, be completely psychic and intuitive in one workout, it's probably not the case. You really have to get to know your intuition.
Yes, thanks for mentioning that, and because that brings a true perspective.
Absolutely.
You have to practice, folks.
It's true. It's true. And actually, I didn't even write so much. I was in another wake up book, and that was my story in that wake up book. But this book, I wrote more about using your intuition for manifestation. So,
Oh, cool. I can't wait to read that.
yeah. So, giving steps on how to visualize and manifest with your intuition. And I use my intuition to know whether something that I want to manifest is for my highest and best purpose, or whether it's just an ego driven want. So I think there's a difference. We can draw towards us the things that are going to make a difference in the world and for our lives, as opposed to just things we want. Not that we can't manifest the things we want, but yeah, we can bring these things closer to us quicker.
Absolutely. And now with all this new research conducted on the heart alone, because of the electromagnetic field that now research has shown just how powerful it is. So my point is the ability, when your heart centered, the ability to truly manifest something that's when you're in alignment with your heart, because it knows, come quick. We have the ability to really manifest anything out of thin air. But that would be a total metaphysical discussion for another time.
It's so true. And, at the beginning of this year, I got really clear with what I wanted to manifest in this entire year. And I created this vision board even. And I hung it in my living room. And I can't even tell you the amount of things that have already come into fruition. And I chose the word prosperity for 2018. And here I am sitting with the Wake Up World movement, which I wasn't a part of at that time. And I feel the most prosperous that I've ever felt.
I feel the same way. I put out there the beginning of 2018, I wanted to be part of something bigger that's going to influence the planet. And I also wanted to be a part of a higher vibrational network of people. And that's the type of environment I wanted to create for myself. And here we are, just 8 months later, and things are happening at a rapid pace. So just to be clear, for any new listeners, for anybody watching, Wake Up Movement, it's Wake Up World Publishing, #1. So if you're ever interested in empowering yourself through the written word, we obviously would love to talk to you and put you out there. But it's a actual movement. Well, we love to help people, whether it's through coaching or consulting, and move you up through getting you in line with purpose in your mission. And who doesn't want to leave a legacy at the end, right?
Absolutely. I love that.
Well, this has been great. We're going to have to do this again, Keri.
I would love that too.
Yeah. Well, that's it for now. Until next time, take care, everybody.
Thanks, Frederick.
Thank you.
Wake up, everybody.
Wake up.